Welcome all to Week 4. This week is turning out to be a make-or-break week for the teams that are 0-3 on the year, but we have a lot of good matchups this week. A quick look back at our Week 3 records. With as many upsets as there were last week, Billy B managed an average 3-2 week, and I just missed the 500 mark. Who would have thought the Bills could ravage the Cardinals? And again, our records on the season. We are all tied up heading into Week 4, and this should be the week that we get back over 500 in both categories. Last week's question of the week asked for the viewers' bold predictions. This is one of my favorite segments, I gotta tell you. First off, we have a few people that correctly picked some big name upsets, including myself. Those in that category were Geo Knows, Trenton Doritos, and Theo Evdox for the Vikings, Poet Ryder for the Bills, and then Cool P19, Bluminator, and Baller RJ for the Eagles. Congrats to those for calling those major upsets. Lastly, I'm going to toot my own horn here. My second bold prediction for Week 3 was that Atlanta would sit atop the NFC South after Monday was over. I consider that pretty bold because the Vikings would have had to upset the Panthers, the Rams would have had to upset the Bucs, and the Falcons would have had to upset the Saints. It's about time people start calling me the Nostradamus of the football world.
Oh, yeah, no. You know what? No, yeah.
Let's get into the games. Our first game looks at the Detroit Lions traveling to take on the Chicago Bears. Can I just start off by saying that the Bears are a terrible football team? The Bears really need to figure themselves out before it gets out of hand this season. With Langford out, I expect the Lions to pull up big in this one. As always, it's difficult to pick an away team in a division game, but the Lions should be able to bring it to the Bears defense. Little known fact that the Lions have currently won the last 6 meetings between the pair and will make it 7 on Sunday. Lions win straight up and cover the 2.5 point spread. The Lions should easily win this one by 10.
All right, I have the Chicago Bears plus 2.5 against the Detroit Lions. I think this is the good spot for Chicago to win. It's a division game at home, and this is, if they're going to win a game, this is the one they're going to win. The line is pretty small. You would think the Lions would be favored in this one, so I think Vegas sees an upset here, and I do as well. So take Chicago plus 2.5 and straight up.
Second matchup we take a look at seemed like it would be an absolute blowout at the time, but the line has now shifted since news broke out that the Texans star defensive end J.J. Watt could miss the rest of the season. I mistakenly thought the Titans could handle the Raiders at home, and even with a healthy DeMarco Murray, they still seem to have trouble scoring points. Their defense has been on the field way too long for them to stay conditioned throughout the entire game. On the Texans side, a loss of J.J. Watt will not be the end of the Texans defense. Brock Osweiler needs to take this offense and prove that he is worth as much as they paid him for. Let's take the Texans straight up and the Texans -5. This point spread seems pretty hefty to me, but looking back at the last 4 matchups between these AFC South rivals, the Texans won all 4 by an average of 20 points. Absolutely incredible.
All right, I have the Houston Texans -5 against the Tennessee Titans. I know news just came out that J.J. Watt might miss the rest of the season, but the Texans have had 10 days rest. They're at home, and I believe that the offense with Lamar Miller, DeAndre Hopkins, and Will Fuller will get going in this one, and I believe that they will put up some points, and I think that they will win this game by a touchdown or more. So take the Houston Texans -5 and straight up.
Our third game we chose is the Denver Broncos heading into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Broncos shut up a lot of fans last week by proving they could be dominant on the road against a strong quarterback-wide receiver tandem in Cincy, and the Bucs fell short to the Rams just after an hour or so of weather delay. Is it just me, or has Jameis Winston been showing flashes of being a good QB and then reverting back to his rookie status? Until Winston finds this equilibrium, I think the Bucs' fate is pretty much sealed. This could be a trap game for some, but I'll gladly take the Broncos straight up and the 2.5 points. I'll boldly say that this one is like taking candy from a baby.
I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 2.5 against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos will be playing back-to-back road games at Cincinnati last week and now at Tampa Bay. It's hard to win back-to-back road games, and I keep picking them to lose, and they keep winning. So either way, good for me. So take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 2.5 and straight up.
Not a huge surprise that 2 of the best AFC teams are clashing on Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs caused havoc and grief for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and the Eagles defense totally shut out Big Ben and the Steelers offense. Let's not forget that the Steelers get Le'Veon Bell back this week. I don't know what it is about the Chiefs, but I can never correctly predict their game. And with the Steelers underperforming last week, it makes it even tougher. I like the Steelers to win straight up, but I think the 5.5 points is too much to give Pittsburgh. I think the Chiefs can cover that spread pretty easily.
All right, I got the Steelers minus 5.5 against the Chiefs. I think the Steelers, after getting embarrassed last week, will come back at home, play one of the best games they've played so far this year, and I think they're going to win this game by double digits. So take the Steelers minus 5.5, who get Le'Veon Bell back, and straight up.
My upset pick was spot on last week, and it was so nice, we're doing it twice. Let's take Atlanta +3 against the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta has some high-quality weapons on offense, and if their defense can just make a few plays or turnovers, Matt Ryan and company should squeeze out a win in A-Town.
All right, and for my upset pick, I have the New Orleans Saints +4 against the San Diego Chargers. I think this is going to be another high-scoring game, just like the Saints just played against the Atlanta Falcons on Monday night. I think Drew Brees and Sean Payton will figure out a way to go on the road and get a win. They're 0-3 right now. They might be done already, but if they go 0-4, they're definitely going to be done. So I think the Saints pull out a upset here. So take the Saints +4 and straight up.
And here is the rest of our picks for Week 4. For this week's question of the week, in your opinion, which 3-0 team has the best shot of missing the playoffs? And why? Dig deep into the NFL research books and look ahead and come up with a reason. Best comments get featured in next week's video.
Alright, let's jump right into the Shame Report with Cheese Guy. His bold prediction was that Hatbox's Vikings upset and Billy B's Redskins upset would be wrong. He thought too much faith was being put in Bradford and the Giants would win by 6 or 7 points. And he insisted we shame him if he was proven wrong.
This is going to be so much fun.
I don't believe the faith was put in Bradford, but in the Vikings defense. They look like a top-tier defense, shutting down Aaron Rodgers and Cam Newton in back-to-back weeks and holding the Panthers to only 10 points. And they managed to cover the 7.5-point spread by beating the Panthers by 12. And I really don't have much to say about the Redskins game. The Giants lost a very winnable matchup, similar to Odell versus the field goal net. Sort of on topic, Gamma Ray wanted to know where the pick for the Vikings-Panthers was on the right side at the end. He said Hatbox was slacking big time. So in the too long didn't read it summary, Hatbox explained the Vikings was his upset and already featured in the video. So Hatbox's pick for Billy B's upset, the Giants, was featured instead. It really doesn't take a genius to figure it out. But it was too hard for Gamma Ray to comprehend because it wasn't worth his time due to a lousy format and he'll never watch again. Well, your inability to put 2 and 2 together gives us the impression of what kind of idiot you are. Luckily, since you'll never watch again, we'll never have to hear from you. And keep it up with that lousy grammar.
My doctor says I do it too much, so now my brain don't work so good.
Finally, GFX said, "You never picked the Broncos." And yes, they didn't pick the Broncos, making them wrong. I picked them to win, but that's neither here nor there. You called them because they never picked the Broncos. Hold up. Who did they pick to win Colts at Denver in Week 2? Oh, I see. And what logo is attached to Billy B's profile pic? Oh, I gotcha. So you called them because they never choose the Broncos to win, despite seeing one of them is a clear fan of the team and both picked them to win in Week 2.
I get it. I don't get it.
In the Hatbox Pick'em League, we now have co-ownership of the lead, Joe's number 1 and Bridgewater's finest, who both went 32-16 across the first 3 weeks. Congrats to them, and don't forget to set your picks before the end of the week. In the Hatbox Survivor Pool, we saw 10 people out of the 34 total people lose in Week 3. Out of those 10 strikes, 9 more people were officially eliminated from contention. This puts our total eliminated to 14 participants, including myself. Good luck to the last 20 people standing. Our Week 3 leader is Discolos. Discolos chose the Dallas Cowboys, who in turn won by 14 points. Congratulations to him, and don't forget to set your pick by the end of this week. I cannot believe that 4 weeks have already gone by in this NFL season. I will be starting to do a few giveaways for NFL and official Hatbox merchandise starting in Week 8, so be sure to follow my Twitter account. The giveaways will be on my Twitter only and is a way to say thank you for those that actually went to my Twitter and to follow me. Don't forget to set your lineups in my Pick'em and Survivor pools, and don't forget to answer this week's question of the week. I hope all of you have a great week making your predictions and enjoy the games. I'll see you dudesons in the next video. Peace.